This lesson is conversions of fractions to decimals to percents to ratios. We're going to use board number 10, the yellow fraction pieces, and the dry erase markers and the cloth. First thing we'll do is we'll start off with a very simple example. We're going to take the 5 by 5 piece and we're going to place it over the top left quadrant or left quarter of the board. We can see that the 5 by 5 is 25 total pieces and it covers exactly 1/4 of the board. So we can just show students a basic example and ask them how many times does that fit on there. Therefore, the 25 square piece 5 by 5 is equivalent of 1/4. So what we're going to do is we're going to write over here that it covers 25 out of 100 squares. And because we've shown them the visual of being able to see that it goes on exactly 4 times, we can reduce the fraction to 1/4. Now it's not always that simple, but in this case that's obvious that it is lowest terms because the numerator is 1. We can also convert it to a decimal, and we know that since it's less than 1, it's going to have 0 in the wholes or the ones place, and the decimal is going to be 0.25 or 25 100ths. We also know that that is equivalent to 25%. And if we look down in the very bottom, we can see that we have to fill in these ratios, and the total shaded squares is 25, and the total unshaded is 75. Be careful that they do not put in 25 to 100, because in this case the unshaded are the white squares. Then we can move to unshaded to shaded, which just reverses the ratio, 75 to 25, and shaded to total is 25 to 100 total squares. Now if we want to reduce these ratios, we can do that. We can change 25 to 75 is the equivalent of 1 to 3, 3 to 1, and shaded is 1 to 4 total. And those are the lowest ratios. The next thing that we'll do in this case is we're going to take 5 rows. So we have 50 squares covered, and we can do the same thing here. We'll erase all our original numbers and we'll write the new fraction as 50 out of 100. Show students that this is exactly 1/2. By doing so, you can take the 1/2 piece, place it over top, and we can see now that 1/2 is the lowest terms for 50 out of 100. The decimal in this case is 0.5 or 5/10. We know that we have 5 rows and each one is a tenth, so we have 5/10, and that's equivalent to 50%. So the total shaded here is 50, and the total unshaded is 50, which reduces to 1 to 1. Unshaded to shaded is the reverse, 50 to 50 or 1 to 1, and shaded to total is 50 to 100, which is 1 to 2. So you can use this board along with the yellow pieces to do any fraction with a denominator of 100, and the numerator can vary depending on what configuration of pieces you use, and you can reduce to lowest terms if possible, and you can also convert to decimals and percents and do ratios on this board.